Hi and welcome. I'm Sandy of Lolly and Sand, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada. Thank you for joining me today. So, I have a really pretty card that we're going to be doing, and you use a couple stamp sets. So, Happiness Abounds, I know I've used it before. This is super versatile. So I'm going to make a card that doesn't look like my other cards that I've used, and I'm going to use this floral image right here. I absolutely love this. Can we get the glare off that? Maybe. Maybe not. Yeah, I love this flower, and I just want to show you that what you actually get is a whole lot bigger, as you can see. And the reason for that is they can only fit so many pictures and words, so they kind of scrunch some of them down. Scrunch is a word, I think. Now, if you happen to hear any big rumbling noises, it is not a train. It's passing by right now, actually. Our neighbors are having some work done in the yard, and it's really, really noisy with their machines. It's Saturday, what can I say? If you hear barking, well, that's the dogs. They're barking at them. Go figure. Okay, the other set that we're using today is Charming Sentiments, and it's a bundle. You see a little symbol like this right here. This is from $1 million seller from Stampin' Up, and it's Lisa Curcio's stamp set. Chances are you've heard of Lisa. If you haven't, then check out her videos. They're awesome. So Lisa is brilliant. Number one, all these sentiments are fantastic. So you have thank you, everything will be okay, beyond grateful, woohoo, they have a whole bunch. Faith over fear, good luck, babies are a blessing, and more and more and more. You've got birthday and more with this. So again, my favorite word, versatile, super versatile. And for those of you who like to cut your sentiments really close, but you're not real keen on fussy cutting, or you just want it done in one fell swoop, here's the answer. Now, what I did is not unique. Other demonstrators are doing the same thing, because there's so many dies. These are all the dies you get in the Charming Sentiment bundle, including the candles. I think they're flowers, might be lily pads, hearts, stars. This is a little bright light for the candle. Go something like that. And then all of these. So what I thought would be really intelligent, and other demos are doing the same thing, is I stamped all of the sentiments, every last one, and then I cut with the coordinating die, and then they're here. Now I can't do this because they won't stick very well. So they're offset just a little bit in case you're wondering why it looks weird. Now here's another reason why I really love Lisa's stamp set. Look at how beautifully that's stamped. That is, by the way, that's Starry Sky. That's one of our new in colors. I love the thick letters. You don't see a lot of that in smaller dies. Did I get the die I want? No, we're going to be stamping and die cutting with this. So I'm going to set that aside so I don't forget. You need to get used to them. They're really close to the edges, but just beautiful. So many like different fonts and such. Absolutely brilliant. Lisa is brilliant. Brilliant. Good luck. Love it. And you always, always, always have to have a thank you. I've tried this out. It makes, I'll show it a little closer. It makes a line of little holes in your paper, which is kind of cool. So it'll look like that. And I haven't made anything with it. I just tried out all the dies first. I didn't feel that I needed to have these stamped as well, because they don't stamp number one, but I didn't figure I needed to die cut because I can pretty well tell what everything is and where they go. So if there's one sentiment set you are looking for, like one that just covers the bases, this is the one from Lisa Curcio. Let's set that way back there. Yep, absolutely stunning. 17 stamps. Amazing. And more dies. More dies than stamps. Let's put it that way. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, let's get going here. First thing we're going to do is we are going to stamp the sentiment. Yes. And there's a little band that goes across the card that has leaves. So these are the leaves from the Happiness Abound. And then again, this is from Lisa's set, the Charming Sentiment. Okay, so let's get her going. I'm just reaching for my goodies. I like to keep my embossing powder in containers like this. These are dollar store containers. And that's probably, oh, I bet I had 3 or 4 of the containers. So that's the white. I bet I had 3 or 4 of them because I do that much. All right. So first things first, you need to get something like this. We no longer sell this. It's an embossing buddy. So what it does is it takes away the static that makes the little teeny embossing powder stick. And you don't want them to stick to your paper because they'll be in your paper then and won't be quite as pretty. Okay, let's make sure this is all in the right spot. So I know I'm cutting a strip here, so I'm just going to keep these to the bottom. And it's really hard to see, by the way. I'm just going to make them go different directions. I'm hoping to not overlap any of these. So if I kind of pay attention to what I'm doing, the sentiment's actually going to go over most of this. I just feel the necessity to do the whole thing. Okay, so there's the one. And then we're going to go right away and do this one. I figure you might as well get all of your heat embossing done all at once. I'm going to do it twice. And I do it twice always. 1, because I like to have an extra. And 2, in case I mess it up. It happens. Demonstrators, we do mess up. Human as well. Yeah. I have to tell you, I'm enjoying being in my basement studio today because it is warm out. Warm. So this is pre-recorded, so if you do comment, I will look at the comments, but you can't comment while I'm doing the video because it's not live. Well, it's live when I'm doing it. You just don't get to see that part. Alrighty, so we'll move that aside. I think this is a scoop from protein powder or coffee, or I'm not exactly sure what, but it's perfect. So if you ever come across anything like this, keep these little scoops that you get in packages like that. Now, before I brush this off and give it a little twang, basically, notice how you can see, hopefully, there's like all embossing powder all over this. I want that to go away. It's looking better. That piece and that piece didn't come off. You can use a paintbrush or your finger, whatever's handy. I'm not liking that little bit right there. It'll probably be under the sentiment. Oh, I messed that up. Okay, well, I messed that up. Sentiment will go over most of that, so I'm not too worried. But yeah, you don't want to touch it. If it's really messed up, I'll just do it again in a little bit. So there we go. Yeah, definitely don't hold your paper up when you're doing what I just did. All right, I'm going to start this over away from the video just to warm it up a bit. That'll mean less heat embossing. I love the way Lisa has this going right through the bottom word, through wonderful. I love that kind of thing. Definitely a lot of thought went into Lisa's stamp set. Which, of course, she had lots of input on. I know some people heat emboss from the bottom, but not me. Once it looks shiny, and I always have to turn it so I can see that it's shiny, it's done. We'll do this one too. What I really like about these dies being the size of the sentiment is I no longer have to say I'm still using my circles, but I don't have to say, well, I need to put it in the center here because, it's a big piece that I'm die cutting. Nope, this is going to be right to the edge. Another good reason to use 2 is because, well, I've only just started using these dies. So I emboss 2, again, in case I happen to wreck one. It can happen. Alrighty. And even though I messed this up a bit, you can always kind of get around it. I never get tired of this magic, ever. Never, ever, ever. There. One thing, after you've done your heat embossing, this can be warm. That is definitely warm. Do not touch it. But this stores like this, but this goes up. Set it like that and just let it cool down. That's all you have to do. So here's what I mean. So here's our die. And see how close that is? It's awesome. Awesome. I'm going to cut this off first, and then we'll move to the die cutting. Alrighty. So my measurement is correct. I need about 3/4 of an inch. It's not an exact science. Like I said, most of it's going to get covered up anyway. And I know I need this to be 4 inches. That's why I wasn't too concerned that one isn't perfect. And into the recycle bin. Okay, so that's 3/4 of an inch by 4 inches. And let's just set that aside. And I have something new to show you. First, I'll show you what it is, and then we'll go for it. Okay, so I just opened up my magnetic plate. My friends, this is heavy. This is what's going to keep it from warping. We had a magnetic plate, like a full magnetic plate, so the entire thing is magnetic. And trust me when I say it's heavy. It is heavy. I mean, I'm not a weakling. It's not that kind of heavy, but it's got some definite weight to it. More than the base. Well, that's my Big Shot platform. Well, I still use my Big Shot. I have, a couple, because I did classes at one point. Anyway, I was reading the instructions, and it says you need a 1, so the 1 would be the big base, a 2, which I don't actually have that written down. Anyway, the 2 is a skinny plate, and you don't need it, I've found. You need the base, you need this, and you need a 3. So when I put it through my machine, I thought, wow, that's going to be way too thick like this. So I opted out of number 2, and it was perfect. So here comes the big guy. We don't have the small plate yet, but there is going to be a magnetic small plate at some point for the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss, which is cool. All right, let's get that die again. Oh, that would be upside down. Now, I know I said that I stamped all of them, all of the sentiments first. I don't really, it was easy to figure out what went with what, but I thought for this demo, it would be handy to know. Now, I'm really taking my time, because I know this is going to cut close. If I make a mistake, and, it's a video, so chances are it could happen. There we go. I've got a second one ready. And if you were to be doing, okay, that's not going to go because I haven't got the plate in far enough. There we go. This top plate, number 3, needed to be a little closer. Okay, fingers crossed, my friends. Here we go. That was a big noise. Let's see. It's on the other side. Oh, it's perfect. So it's really, really close. Teeny tiniest little bit off to this side. Doesn't matter. I'm putting the die back where it goes. All right, so let's set this aside. Oop, or let's drop it all on the floor. Again, it's video. This is how it works. I'm not going to cut that other one out right now because I don't need it. All right, I don't want any embossing powder on this or on my table. All right, so we've got this and this already done. Now, oh, there's the big train sound again. There. So this is basic white, and this is my top layer. This is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I'm going to bring out my stamp and Memento Black. Tuxedo Black, actually. All right, and let's get her well inked. Mine's, if you ever see me doing this, it's because mine, I over inked it once and it really, really over inked. Let me just double check. Okay, it's good. I need to press a little bit more in the center and get that a little darker. So what I'm going to do is start a little off, tiny little bit off center. Cool thing about this is you can plan to make a whole bunch of cards identical, and you do not have to worry if they're not identical, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, my friends. All right, and I like to make them not all go the same direction. To me, it's not eye-catching. I'm really trying to not get ink on myself. I actually, on my original, I had to start over because, well, I got ink on myself. How shocking. And let's go this way. Now that I have the big images, like the almost full images, I can fill in all these side pieces. I used to start at the side, and when I went to do the center, there wasn't anything there. So the tip is start around center if you're going to do an entire page, and work your way out. Alrighty, so this can go right here. Beautiful. I am such a huge fan of black and white cards. Now I didn't turn it there because you're not really, well, barely turned it because you're not really seeing the entire thing. So it doesn't really matter. And I am pressing pretty harder than usual. I'm concerned that my ink pad could be in need of a little ink. So I'm going to put a little one here. So we're going to do a card that is black and white and have a beautiful burst of color. Not overpowering, just really pretty. The sad thing about my original card is I had it upstairs. I was photographing it in our sunroom, and it got a little water on it. I'm not sure how, but it did. All right, here's a tip. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I used Versamark on that last, when I was heat embossing, just so you know. And this is, again, Memento. All right. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Tip number 2, store them upside down. It's pretty horrendous looking, but it doesn't matter. Unless you have inked this so much that it's leaking out, store both of these upside down, keeping the ink at the top. That is pretty to me. Really pretty. All right, so we are going to clean the desk because I see ink on it. Give me a moment. This is probably how I get ink on things. I have this really ugly blue cloth right here for this exact purpose. And we check our fingers. Oh, there it is. Okay, 1 second. Told you something always has to happen. You have to ink yourself, ink something you shouldn't. Yeah, it happens. We just roll with it. Okay, good. I use a lot of white paper, as you might have noticed. Alrighty, here is in color, beautiful in color, Sweet Sorbet. This is cut 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2. I do have my bone folder. Okay, bone folder is an absolute must. Oh, somebody needs to change her blade. Oh my goodness. Alrighty, there. That you get a crisp edge and it's laying flat, and that's what I want to see. Yeah, it's definitely. If you ever find that you get, I don't know if you can see that right there, it's kind of down here and there. You can use your finger and roll it under a little bit. You can use your emery board, but I always go down, go the direction you want it to not show. All right, so before I put that on this layer, which is this basic black 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, I am going to make sure that I didn't mess up any of the measurements. See how that just sets it off beautifully, and then make sure that I didn't mess up that piece. Okay, I know it's good. If I see it looking that close, it's good. And again, you can use whatever adhesive you like. Don't squish out your Tombow like I just did. You do not need that much. I have been known to do things like, I happen to have, this is when I did my walkthrough, and I'm just going to push that down. I don't want to see a big blob, especially if it dries weird. I don't want that showing. I am just dying to see what they're doing. My daughter thought it was a pool next door, but I don't see a giant hole in the yard. Wow, did I ever miss? Apparently she can't type and talk. I'm just kidding. I learned to type and talk. I can't craft. I can craft. Okay, so if you notice, I really blew that. It was way off to the side, and I used my finger now and just went along here and basically scooped up all that excess Tombow. Okay, I'm going to concentrate a little bit more. Oh, so that's how it should look. I didn't see an up and a down with this card. I don't really see that. It makes a huge difference. Okay, I am making sure though that once I've decided what way I want it, that I'm going to carefully put that on and up a little bit. Tombow gives me that wiggle room. Isn't that pretty? All right, so this is just as I did cut it good. It's just to break it up. I'll show you what I did. Oh, I forgot to stamp the inside. So I took, this is the In Color 6x6. So this is also Sweet Sorbet. And I found this really cool die in the All That dies, which is part of the He's the Man. And as much as I love, you know, I love all the like the little dot stitching on other dies, this one doesn't have it. Instead, if you can see that, it makes a little ridge, which I thought was fabulous. So I had it like this, and then went, nah, you know, it needs something, so this piece helped. And I'm going to get my glue back out again. They actually have two large pieces, not large, two large noisy machines. I'm not good with the names of machines, like a digger or something like that. Okay, so I'm actually going to glue this straight onto here, and I'm going to pop this up. All right, and the really cool thing is if I die cut that straight, this paper has really nice lines on it, and I can just use that kind of as a guide. Now, even the back of the paper, all the sheets are really pretty. I have never used this except on my original card. I had never used it. I just opened it. So this is the glittered organdy ribbon, 3/8 of an inch wide. And what I decided to do was just add a little sparkle to the card. We're going to add more, but a little sparkle. This is one of those times when I use seal. Now, if it gets stuck like that, roll it tiny bit. Come on, tiny bit more. And sometimes if you give up like me, oh, you know what? It's empty. Oh my goodness, it's empty. Thankfully, I have glue dots here. That's why it's not working. It's the user, really. Okay, perfect for your take your pick tool is we're just going to put a few of these down. This is why we have our adhesives handy. And glue dots are perfect for this. Good. Alrighty, I will have to replace that. I don't have another cartridge in arm's reach. No worries. All right, so it goes that way. All I'm going to do is make a little ziggy zag. I haven't done these for ages. I can cut off the ends. So I'm just going to go ziggy zaggy. Isn't that pretty? See the sparkle in the ribbon? So pretty. Just a little ziggy zag, like so. Sticks beautifully. And my scissors are right here. I'm going to cut that off and then trim the ends. Once it's on the card, I will trim it a little bit more. And you know what? Oh, hang on. I have to get out my really ugly sheet of paper. Remember this one? I use it a lot. It is so covered in Winkostella. It is funny that it's so covered. Putting the lid back on and Winkostella. Now, some people go like this, and you can. You're going to get a larger blob. For me, I'm doing this off to the side. I know this is not the phone. I don't want to bring the full one out because it's pretty overzealous. We'll try a different one. I think that one was really, really close to being empty. I can see it's in there. Now, if you find that your Wink of Stella is getting low, I believe you can put in a little bit of rubbing alcohol. And it'll get going again. So I won't tap like forever and ever here. But what you want to do is tap all over it. When I show you the original, hopefully you can see some of the shimmer. I can see little bits, but these are pretty empty. That looks a little crooked, but it could be my eyes. I don't know. Alrighty. I have a third one, believe it or not. Actually, I think I have 4 of them. Really bad for this. I use them. And then, let's see what we have here. Oh, this might be the one. Okay, let's do some of this and see if we get that out a little faster. Both ways work. I know when I did the original, I tapped and tapped and tapped and tapped and tapped. And that would be a few more minutes of video that I don't think you have to see. All right, we did not get very much on there, let me tell you. So, and I do have a full one somewhere. Really bad for that, as you know. All right, now, normally I would use my large dimensionals, but I have so many of these packages of the mini from when I was doing in-person classes pre-COVID. So I thought, why don't I just use them? They're not going to go bad. I just figure I have so many. Like, we're talking, I don't even know how many packages. It's really silly. And of course, most of them are open because I was doing classes. Alrighty. Now, I didn't like that, so I'm going to move this over to this side just a little bit, cover up that little oopsie part that I didn't like. Not done. Here they are. I'm going to bring in my Take Your Pick tool again. I love when I get close to finishing a sheet. Love, 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 love. And I think, yep. I really, really like the little guys, but we don't have sheets of little guys, so we're going to use bigger pieces today. Bigger. Being relative, they're all pretty small. Can I get this one off of here? Let's see. It's way up here. Why not? 1, 2, 3, 4. We need one more. Well, you can break the rules and you can do as many as you like. If you want to do 2, that's okay. It's your card. And nobody's going to stop you. I forgot to do the inside of the card, so I'm just going to push that aside for a moment and do the inside. And we will bring back Memento again. Come to Sandy. There we go. And let's not get inky. Let's not. Alrighty, so I'm going to take a chance here. Let's see if I can stamp straight. You might as well do the sentiment first, since if you mess it up, then you can just do it again. I'm going to move this right down. I need a straight edge, and I hope you can see that. I need a straight edge to help me line up my paper straight. There we go. Okay, so it's wishing you everything wonderful because you totally deserve it. Love it. Love it, love it. Not happy with the way that's stamped. Flip her over. Didn't push in quite hard enough. This might be too inky. Sometimes you just have to get that happy medium. There we go. I gushed it that second time, and don't gush. Don't gush. Ta-da! Love that print. It's a little crooked. I can live with that. And now a couple little flowers. I want to leave some writing space. That's pretty, but not too much. Kind of like the front, but a little bit different. There. So I did. This is a different size. Let's just push that to the back. This is the same as the basic black layer. So this is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Let's glue it on the inside. Double check it. Yep. Oh, Sweet Sorbet is such a pretty color. Such a pretty color. It is. It's like the color of happy. I don't know how else to describe it. Really, really pretty. Bowl of strawberries, maybe. Yum. It's almost strawberry season here. A little early, but can't wait. Cannot wait. There we go. And I do like the pick your own. So you know who picked it and when. I picked these, and I can say proudly, I picked these. And when I turned it over, I had a rough edge, so I'm just straightening that out. And I do see another one of those little fluffy things, but there we go. There is the card. I would be most happy if you would share my video. Also, subscribe. That would be lovely. And everything that you see here is available in my online store. So here's the original. Here's where it got messed up. So I have to figure out how I'm going to fix that. I am not sure yet. If you have suggestions. So it's almost like a little bit, it could be from this, just a little bit of liquid got right there. So if I hold it like this, you'd be like, wow, that card's perfect. This I did in Parakeet Party. And if it does look bright to you, that's because it is. It is beautiful. So I'm also curious, which one do you like better? I mean, I could have remade this exact one, and I thought, no, I want to show you another one of the in colors and how absolutely beautiful it is. Absolutely beautiful. Say no more. That is my video, my friends. The links to shop, to go check out some more inspiration, which would be my blog, my Facebook, Instagram, all that fun stuff is all in the description. So thank you so much for watching. I'd love to hear from you. If you don't have a demonstrator and are looking to purchase some products, I am most happy to help you with that. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.